Hey, I'm Moran, and we're going to talk about songwriting. And specifically, I'm going to go over a song I just wrote. There's going to be a demo up on the channel with lyrics that you can hear, kind of where we're taking it. And I'm also going to show you how it started, and then talk about a few concepts. This isn't really meant to be instructional. I'm not teaching you specifically how to write songs. I'm just going to give you some insight into some ideas I have about it, and to give you background, I've been writing songs for a lot of years, a lot in the last 10-11 years, a lot of songs in the last 10-11 years, and I'm pretty prolific. Wrote a lot of songs. Actually, I've probably written an album worth of songs since January 1st. So this is one of those songs. We're going to talk a little bit about it, but I want to give you just a general gist of maybe my process or processes. I don't have a process. That's one of the things people ask about. And this came about because I was having, I mentioned in the last video, some conversations with somebody who works in the industry. We're working to put a tour together after the summer, hopefully. And also conversation with my youngest daughter, who's also a songwriter and performer. And she said, you should cover how these things come about. And also conversations with my girlfriend, because we were talking about writing, and I was saying, look, I could teach almost anyone to write. I can't give them a sense of cadence. I can't give them, a better verbal acuity, but I can give them some ideas of things that I do, that I found effective. Now, I've made some notes down here, so I'll be referring to those from time to time. If you're interested in writing songs, and I know a number of people through various organizations that write songs and only write lyrics, and that's cool, and you have people like Bernie Taupin, that's what they did, but if I were going to give one piece of advice, it would be to learn to play guitar, and as a starting point. And you don't have to become a virtuoso. You don't have to master the instrument per se, but you should have some idea of how it feels to put together a chord structure and write to that cadence. Because sometimes people who are only writing lyrics, if they don't have the music ahead of time, will often lose track of the cadence as they go through the song. So I always say, learn guitar. Now, to be completely frank, I guess I'd say that piano is a more versatile instrument. There's so much more you can do on it and pick things out, and if you want to learn that, that's fine. But the one thing about guitar is it's really portable. So you can take it anywhere. It's really easy to just take out and write, and also it's probably easier to learn 3, 4, 5 chords that work together and start to piece together songs on guitar. So that's my advice for what it's worth as far as that goes. So a couple things that I keep in mind. I'm going to show you, this particular song called Peace of Mind that I have a lyric demo up on the channel, so you can check it out. And I'm going to show you how it came about, because one of the things that happens with me is I have this songwriting journal here. It's actually open to that song that I just wrote. And we're going to show this in detail. I'm going to kind of go through it so you can kind of see what was going on with that. But one of the things I tell people, and you'll see it as I go through here, is don't settle for the lazy line. Maybe one day I'll talk a little bit about a song, Morning Girl, that I wrote years ago that, it's a song that people who listen to my music really like. The challenge is, when I wrote the song initially, 2008, there was a line that I knew I didn't like, and but we were recording the CD, I recorded it, and we were getting rid of the tour, and so I put the song on the CD as it was, including the line that I wasn't crazy about. And years later, I was talking with a friend of mine, and we were talking about that song, and she goes, "Oh, I love that song," and she goes, and remember, this 5 years later, she says, "There's one line that I just think is wrong." And I knew exactly the line she was talking about. I hadn't gone back to revisit it. I should have. And we actually fixed the song right there. She actually gave me some ideas, which was great. It was great to get that input. So don't settle for the lazy line. And I'm going to show what had to happen in this particular song, Peace of Mind, and then let people know how, let you know how I kind of start a song. And it can come a number of ways. This particular song was just a chord progression. It was just a rhythmic chord progression that I liked. And I recorded it on my phone. So this is one of the things I do, is I'll just record a video or a voice memo. So this particular song, I have a folder here called Song Ideas that I just throw things into. And so if I open up my Songs Ideas folder, and I'm going to show this video, I'm going to cut out and show it, but this is the video that formed the song Peace of Mind. Okay, put on to, I don't know, just how it was this morning. This is starting with a B. Yeah, very simple. But I just kind of like the rhythm of it. So that's how it started. I didn't have any lyrics, and I recorded that, and then when I took my dog for a walk, I just spent some time mulling that around and said, what do I hear coming out of that? And I came up with the first line, which was, this often happens, didn't know where the song was going to go, and I said, the first line was, maybe I should have paid more attention, kept a keener eye, focused on the bottom line. So the song became a little bit about reflecting on maybe where I've been less effective in life than I wanted to be. But I didn't want the song to sit in that kind of negative reflective space, and the song really became much more about the idea that you can move past those things and still create a fulfilling life and still move your dreams forward, whatever the case may be. So that's kind of how it started. Now what's important about that is I got to the chorus, and I have the dates. I'm going to show this on film so you'll see it. I'll cut that in. And I got to the chorus, and I started down the road on the chorus. And this is what happens with songwriting, often happens with songwriting. And I had an idea where I wanted to take that. And so I struggled because I had several lines to this chorus, and this was kind of the conversation I had with my girlfriend, because I said, you could write something, but you have to be willing to kind of kill the direction you're going. Don't assume, from her standpoint, we kind of chuckled about a line that we were making up, and I said, well, yeah, that line sounds, foolish, or maybe childish or something. And I said, but the idea is fine, and so what'll happen is people edit before they really get into the writing process. And I go, just put it down. You can always restructure that line or scrap it. That's okay. So what happens with songwriters often, people who are trying to learn how to write, is once they go down that road, they won't stop and step back. And so I had to show her that, look, I don't just come up with this stuff, because she saw the finished product of the song and said, how do you do that? And I just don't see how I could write something down and it would come out right. And I go, well, just don't assume that I do either. So we'll look at that entire chorus I had that I was going down the line here, and you'll see that, and I'm going to show it on film, that I had this line that said, fortunes turn without a warning, plans get shuffled to the side. Now I like that. I didn't use it in the song, but I like it. And I really liked it, so I kept fixating on that idea. and I had the word plants get shuffled to the side, and then you can see all these rhyming words that I have with side. I had tide, ride, mine, kind, because you don't have to rhyme exact, just the I sound was going to be fine, find, hide, unkind, besides, and I'm writing all these words down. None of them help me resolve that final line, and that can be a problem. And so what I've had to learn to do, and what I did with this song, is a day later, after writing that chorus and not being able to complete it and bouncing it around in my head as I took walks or as the day went on, I had it written up on my computer screen, I scrapped it and went in an entirely different direction, and that became the chorus. Now that doesn't mean that's a throwaway. I might use that idea later, so I've taken those lyrics and I've dropped it into a Google document that I keep that has just oodles and oodles of lyrics. And so that's part of how I come about writing a song. So this particular one started with just a video on my phone that had the basic chord structure, not even for the chorus, just for the verses. And then I just let that wrap around my head a lot. And then I wrote this chorus and scrapped the entire chorus and then wrote the new chorus. So that's an important concept, and it's something I've had to learn to do, because I mentioned Morning Girl is, where I kept that lazy line. I didn't go back and restructure it. Now since then I have, and once again I'll do another video about that sometime in the future. But so I just wanted to give you that insight into one of the methods I use. And so what I'll do a lot of is either voice memos on my phone. Sometimes it's just me, it's not even with a guitar. Other times it's with a guitar and it's just a video of me, pointing at my guitar so I remember what chords I was using. Maybe I'll say something like, okay, I'm capoed on 3, I'm using a open G, and here's the chord structure, here's kind of the idea. And then I might just be humming melody ideas, but I have no idea where the song is going to go. Other times I get a lyrical idea, and I'll write that lyric down, and maybe I'll write a couple lyrics to it with a cadence in mind, but no chord structure. And I'll go back and backfill the chord structure. So we'll look at Peace of Mind. If you want, you can check out the full demo. So I wanted to just give this idea of the process of writing songs, and hopefully by looking at my songwriting notebook you can see kind of how I pull that stuff together. And if you found it helpful or enjoyable or interesting, let me know. Would love to hear from you. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. We're figuring out what we're going to do as far as our regular schedule. I want to cover songwriting, or how I put songs together, and then also release songs. So hopefully we'll have that done this week, and we'll announce what that schedule is going to be. But suffice to say, we will be putting out regular videos, and would love it if you subscribe, tuned in, and let me know what you liked. Thanks.
Maybe I should have paid more attention, kept a keener eye, focused on the bottom line. It's all those things that I failed.